Hello, everybody. I think we are live. Let me just pour some wine here. We're back to working on the... It's kind of weird to call it a first-person shooter, multiplayer FPS. It is technically a first-person shooter, I guess. I don't know, I'll let you decide for yourself. But you don't really shoot things. I don't know, I guess if you consider Minecraft a first-person shooter, then this would be. I've made some... improvements since the last time you probably saw the game, which would have been last night, I believe. I switched out the entire character controller to physics-based, so like the cannonballs can actually hit you and move you around and stuff properly, instead of a kinetic controller, which is called character body 3D, I believe, in Godot. A kinetic controller is... I'm probably not the best at explaining this because I'm not certain of all the nuances between the two, but I basically know that there's two typical ways you want your character to be controlled in a video game. The most common way would be a kinetic controller, which is kind of like it interacts with the physics world, but it's not the same as a physics object. You kind of mostly just through actual manipulation of the position of the object, more so than having it be part of the physics world and having a simulation tell it where to be. Like, that's what the kinetic controller is. A kinetic controller is like, hey, when I hit W, take this and then add like 2 to its position and then like lerp it or whatever. So it just kind of like moves along this line. With the, what we're doing here with the rigid body, or the physics way, is we're saying like, okay, this player is literally a physics object in the world. And when they hit W, apply a force this way, or whatever, you know, you have to do the calculations to do the force in the correct direction for where they're looking and everything. Apply a force to this object. So, like, this cannonball and this player are, like, the same thing. They're in the same simulation, basically. So, that's more like what we wanted for this game, right? Because, like, I think there's going to be a lot of physics simulations in this game, and like I've mentioned before, we can do that even on a multiplayer game, because in this particular game we're basically cheating and we're not really doing correct multiplayer, because if you're doing like really appropriate multiplayer to actually be like released everywhere and everything, this would be a pretty easy game to cheat on, because we're mostly not really checking the client data input at all, or so they could basically tell the server anything. The server just goes, okay, I believe you, and it'd be really easy to cheat because the server doesn't validate anything the players do. If you're doing a game that's not just kind of for fun like this, or to be released for free, you would probably want to do a little bit more sophisticated internet multiplayer infrastructure than, or like architecture than that, where you do something like if you hit W, it simulates on the client, it simulates on the server, and if there's any discrepancy, the server then resyncs it back to the client, so the client can't cheat. Client could just say I'm across the level, but like there's no real way to input that. Well, let me rephrase that. The client can't just say like, hey, my position is across the level, because the server says like, I don't listen to you for position updates, I listen to you for key press updates. Like I'm listening to you for when you say you hit W, and then I'll simulate you hitting W, and then I'll tell you where you are. Which is very different than our approach, which is basically the client's just like, hey, my character's in this position, and the server goes, okay, and then that's basically how it works. So very different. I guess probably I imagine on in very early multiplayer they probably started doing this way, and now the standard way if you're for a serious project would be the other way. Probably initially there weren't really many people cheating anyway. Cheating's probably more of a more recent phenomenon, kind of since the probably 90s and onward. Late 90s and onward, probably. Anyway, so yeah. If you haven't seen this game before, or you're joining the stream for the first time, which is very common because there's not too many people who watch this stream yet. I mean, it's fairly new. But the point of the game is basically going to be you can place bricks, you jump on the bricks, and you try and make your way across the level without being shot off. And like there, I died. So that's pretty much going to be the game. It is multiplayer. I don't have the cannon hooked up, but you can see that it is actually multiplayer. I, for some reason, can't alt-tab out of these windows now. But believe me, here, I'll just, there, it's multiplayer. Yeah. Right, okay. So that's where we're at. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably not do too much more because I already did a couple hours tonight. I'm probably going to do... I saw a tutorial on doing world environment graphics and to make the lighting prettier, so I'll just attempt that. And to remember what I saw in that tutorial and see if I can get it to look a little bit better. Then we can kind of like... we could troubleshoot why the cannon isn't shooting on the second player. Like on the second player, like on the first player it does, but on the second player for some reason it doesn't spawn and sink those cannonballs. So no idea why that is exactly. It targets whoever's closer to the cannon right now. Eventually I'll probably have it target whoever's closer to the finish once I've established what a finish is. Oh, and for the game modes of this that I intend to put into the game, oh, nice. Players can just push each other off now that they're physics objects. I'm just gonna push you off. The game modes will be like, there'll be a cooperative game mode where one person must make it to the end, which is just regular cooperative mode. I think in that mode, if you die, you're just dead. Like, if you fall off, you just spectate the other players until you're back. And then there will be a super co-op mode, which is everyone must survive. So as soon as one person dies, the round's over. And then there will be a cutthroat mode, which is everyone's against each other trying to get there first. And you respawn every time you fall off. So you're kind of trying to make the other players fall off at that point. And to sabotage them, and then whoever gets to the end first. And that's what I kind of have planned here. See, the physics don't affect him because there's no cannonball even on his instance at all. Interesting. So yeah, let me know if that sounds good or like a game you might enjoy playing, because like obviously if you're gonna spend time making a game, it is good to have someone at least play it. So playtesting of this game, I would imagine, will take place in maybe a couple weeks or something, like the original alpha playtest where people can actually try it. Because like right now, well actually let me just take a look. What is there really to do before you can play it? Because I mean, like, you could just pretend there are rules, right? Like, you could just be like, okay, we're playing this game mode, pretend we are doing this, just to see if it's fun or not, and if you need to put that game mode in. So the level obviously has to be made more exciting. The other thing that with the physics-based approach we're doing is you could actually have things as well, like you could have a like a ton of bricks that are just like bricks in the level that are physics objects, and the cannons can knock them over at certain parts and make it harder for you to like get past those parts and stuff like that. Not sure exactly what that would be like, but like the levels can be much more than just this. Like it's not just flat planes and placing bricks, so you can actually make real levels as well that shelter you from the cannons at certain points. The cannon, I think this cannon will probably be on a ship, like a pirate ship, and it'll just probably go around in a circle to add some variance as well. So I don't know if there'll be difficulty modes, but difficulty modes would probably just have like there'd be more pirate ships shooting at you at once or something like that to make the game harder. There may eventually be different types of bricks and stuff like that. That stuff takes a little bit longer to program and figure out, and would probably be figured out through playtesting. Because, you know, there's always a chance that, like, this sucks, and this is not fun at all, right? So maybe that'll be what happens. We're just like, wow, this is super unfun, and just have to, like, come up with some kind of other approach to the game. I have some confidence, though. I think it'll be decently fun, actually. You can also stop cannonballs if you place bricks in exactly the right spot. I imagine there'll be a limit to how many bricks you can place. Like, I don't think you just get unlimited bricks, and maybe on the different difficulty modes that would change. So you could have, like, two players building some kind of wall. Oops, there we go. I have to kind of fix how the placement works, because right now the ocean is a placeable object, which it shouldn't really be. And then you could have another person just be like, okay, you guys build a wall over there, I'll go over here, and then jump across. Whoa. Oh, nice. Made it. I'll have to figure out the jumping mechanics. That's a pretty far jump to be able to make. The gravity seems a bit strange. It's a little trickier to do gravity and stuff with the rigid body character instead of the kinematic. Because, like, it's almost like a parachute it feels like Princess Peach doing the umbrella float right now. Woo! Like right across, you go almost less than diagonal down. I'll probably have to do some hacky stuff to add gravity when you're in the air, or something like that, or when you're in the air and moving. Something weird like that to simulate correct falling behavior. Because, like I said, this is not a kinematic body, so it's quite different to make a controller this way. Yeah, so I guess we'll start with trying to make the game look a little bit better. And let's see if I can find the tutorial that I found earlier. Actually, oh, do you have any comments or whatever? I only have one monitor, but I do actually check them occasionally. I usually miss them, but if you wait around for like 3 or 4 minutes, I will find them after some amount of time. Godot, good lighting. I don't think that's what I searched, but good environment lighting. Oh wait, what is this? Oh no, good, it does have the right name, because sometimes it says like making music or something for it. And actually, I do need to add footsteps. That's another thing I should be doing. That doesn't sound too exciting though, so I probably won't do that right away. What if there's like a history or something I could just view of, like, to find it? Hey, look, it's me. To find that also looks cool. Like, people have made like a Roblox superset of Godot. I don't have a clue how it works. I haven't tried it, but it's a superset of Godot. That's another program that like runs Godot in it that lets you do multiplayer game creation simultaneously. It sounds pretty fun. It actually sounds, yeah, maybe I should actually do that on the stream. That'd be pretty cool to check out. We could build games together or something like that. Okay, I went here. It wasn't this tutorial, but then it was like related to this tutorial.
Probably seen this done before in Unity, but today we're using the new Godot Engine 4.0. We're also using assets from the Megascans library.
This one looks similar to it, but it's always weird when you like can't find the same video. That was cool. That's like importing Quake. Like you can use the Quake, what's it called, Trench Room or whatever editor, and import into Godot. And like if you ever use like the Hammer editor from like Half-Life, it's pretty cool because it's made for that purpose. So it's very good at doing that kind of thing, and it's a very fast way to make levels that look like Quake levels or Half-Life levels or whatever. That actually doesn't even look bad. It's funny, like Godot always looks like a little bit like a few years behind the other engines, but like that's pretty good. Like that could be AAA if you kept that quality up and it was, you know, stylized. That looks pretty good. So, and I mean, Godot is catching up in graphics a lot faster than like it will eventually. It's like Blender. Like Blender was kind of behind on the tooling, then it caught up, and then it is further ahead, and eventually Godot will probably be the same way. It's going to catch up to Unreal, and then it's going to probably start being like a playground for all the people that experiment in those fields. They'll try and implement their papers and stuff in Godot, I imagine, and like, you know, they'll come up with cool tech for Godot, and it'll start to be kind of a powerhouse of progress in that area. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this, but luckily I think I remember most of what it was. Was it 2D platformer in the name or something like that? That's cool. Earthbound. I never get why people like do that, like when they remake games like that. Like the guys who remake like the Zelda games and stuff like that. It's like, it's so much work to do that like it's like almost, to me it seems reckless. It's like if you're gonna spend that amount of work on something, like don't redo something that's already been done, because you're spending so much work. You could make a new game. You could make a new game at that point with that amount of effort. All right, let's see if I can just remember it. It was kind of confusing because it was you take like the world environment. It was something to do with the procedural sky. Then there was 2 different directional lights. One was light only, one was sky only. Oops. Wait, I can't just copy paste that. Am I crazy? Okay, so something like this. You do 2 of the different ones. One is light only, one is sky only. I think you just turn them off at the start. And then you go into your environment. And then the sky was physical sky, I think they did. Interesting, interesting. Okay. So I think one of these that's connected to the sky, it has to be, I think, rotated. Is that... Oh, it has no energy. Does it need energy? Okay, maybe that's the thing. Okay. Okay. There you go. Okay, we go like that. Okay, look, we got a sun. I don't know where the sun should really be. Maybe kind of overhead. Is this gonna work? Am I gonna be able to see it? Ooh, okay, there's an overhead sun. I'm not gonna bother turning on anti-aliasing and everything because I don't know. I want the game to run fairly fast even on lower end computers. I don't know if I'll do an options menu. That seems like a lot of boring work to do. I don't think this guy has shadows. This one, I don't think has shadows. Right, so now we go back to the world environment, which I'll just put at the bottom. I'm not sure like how much you really want coming from the sky versus other things, because this would be your ambient light too. Like this is as dark as your shadows kind of get. But at the same time, like that looks like a pretty dark sky to me. I tend to like high key things, like high key and like photography or anything is like things more on the bright side. There's like, I can't remember what the other thing's called. I don't know if it's low key or dark key, but I think it's low key. Low key is like stuff with like lots of shadows. High key is stuff with very few shadows, kind of more bright. And I always like high key things, always better. Just personally. So I don't understand exactly the difference there. That's nicer, more contrast. I don't know exactly what this algorithm does compared to the other ones, but looks like it's got nice contrast. Let's do some, I think this is ambient occlusion, isn't it? Screen space ambient occlusion, I think. Which should almost like highlight edges, basically. Okay, I see it occurring on that model, but I don't see it occurring on our island models. So like, why is that exactly? And the reason is I have no clue. Oh, there we go. So that's something. Like, here's some other things that do fancy stuff. I do not know much about what these are individually doing. That looks like a screen space indirect like illumination, maybe bounce light. I don't know. Fancy stuff. Glow. Is that like bloom probably? Crazy fog. Fog could be useful actually for this, but I'll apply it to tweak that a lot. Alright, okay. So that's alright. It's kind of cool. I don't know if we want our sky to be actually like more blue than that, but let's see, where's our physical sky? Color. I actually like that a lot more, except it's got a lot more energy than it needs now. Where was that energy? Oh, there it is. Energy multiplier. There we go. don't like about that is like it doesn't look like a sky. So like that's kind of weird. I wish that tutorial was there because maybe he could explain. Like maybe I can replace it with like an image and just have the lighting come from it or something. Because it's like it's just blown out. Or I could just use textures or something and make a dome with clouds or something and have it like immune to the light. That might actually work. Also, I gotta fix this really garbage water texture thing I got going on here. To make it look better. Alright, let's just try the light now. So this can have shadows, this one. Which is cool. I don't know if anyone's like an expert on lighting. It'd be cool to meet somebody that's an expert on lighting and knows how to do this stuff really well, but you kind of probably fiddle with it and get something okay. I like soft shadows. It's cool that you can just like blur, like soft shadows used to be very difficult to get in game engines, and now it just seems like it's like this slider, and they're pretty good. Don't know how that happened or when that changed, but it's pretty cool. I'm not sure where this light is or where it's pointing exactly. Also, I might need some more objects in here to kind of be able to tell like what this lighting actually really looks like. Moving block, cool. This is all assets from Kenny, which are free. If you search Kenny assets on Google, you can get these things. Okay, so I think I want top-down lighting because the shadow on the players is going to be extremely important for making sure, because it's like a platformer, you don't want to like make it really hard to line the shadow up. Even, I would say, even at the cost of some visual, of some like visual fidelity, I guess. Like you can make it look a little bit worse, but the gameplay will be so much better. It's probably going to be worth it. Okay, where are we here? So this one doesn't do anything. Or is that like exactly the wrong way? Because like the top should be like shouldn't they be brighter than the sides? Am I just doing this wrong? That's crazy. How do lights work? How do lights work? Hello, subscriber person. The carry-on crew is here. Perfect. Just in time. Just in time for our incredible game. One annoying thing about this, like when you're using the grid map and stuff, is like you have to add colliders manually to all this stuff. So you actually have to go into like the tiles and like add collision boxes to all of them, because like I've only done it for this one tile. So like literally every tile I use for the whole project, I'm gonna have to like add the colliders. It just kind of sucks. It's funny, it's like sometimes like the things that are like the most work are just like dumb repetitive tasks. So with this directional light, sky one, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, now I'm confused because like why, I wish I could find that tutorial again. Does this override the environment sky? This is the one we were messing with. Like, where are these things? What is the button to... Like, where are the transforms on all these things? Their position. 0, 0, 0. There we go. Let me see you. stop lying to me about your position. You're not zeroed at all. Okay. Which way do you emit light? You have an arrow that way. Yeah. Well, that helps when you actually set things up right. It's a good thing to do, I guess. So this one, I want the one it to be casting the shadows. I don't know why it's not, because didn't I do that? Or maybe... Okay, there we go. That's something. Alright, so the rest of this is going to be filled in basically ambient light. I hope. And let's see what happens there when we actually do this. I really got to figure out like how this... how this contributes to it. Or up here, I guess. Because it's like... Maybe I'll just delete that. And just do it here. I think it's the same thing anyway. Why is it so angry? Oh, maybe you need it in there? I have many, many questions about, to the Godot developers about like how this works. Okay, we need to position this again. 0, 0, 0. So I believe this one actually controls, yeah, what the sky actually looks like and everything. There we go. Okay. My only issue with this is like it looks okay-ish, but it's like not the actual colors of the model, and I'm pretty sure that you kind of want your lighting to at least reflect the original colors of the model a little bit better. Okay, so I believe that does control just the sky's light. So can we go into the sky and get more ambient light? Can we do that? Ambient light, you say you're a thing. Huh. Not sure exactly how. Just white ambient light. See, like it colors that, but it doesn't color. Like, what is up with my weird tiles? Are they a special material or something that just like doesn't care about lights? What are these things? I'm so curious as to why these things think that they're so cool that they don't need to be affected by lighting in the same way as other objects. That will probably take some figuring out, so I don't know if I'll do that now, but I do have the tiles seen here. So it could be that they're block. It might not have a texture. This could be vertex colors, actually. That would make sense. Also, I love like the shadows just casting completely weird on that. I have a feeling that this is actually vertex colors. Yeah, like the polygons are colored. There's no actual texture on this. So, uh-oh. Can it do a vertex color shader? Cast shadow on, transparency, ignore occlusion culling, global illumination. Could be interesting. Could be interesting. I'll probably need to do more research of the materials to figure out like what affects vertex color things with no material and what doesn't. Because it might be hard to balance the lighting when it's affecting every material kind of like differently. Could be a potential problem. So the only problem with that is like it doesn't look good at all. Like, so that's kind of a big issue. Also, when we went into the tile, like how close is this to the actual colors of this? Oh, that's pretty close. Nice. Because like, that's always a way you can tell if you're like in a 3D program or anything, if your lights are like way too bright or anything. It's like if they're modifying the colors away from the original quite a bit, you probably have settings that are like wrong. And the issue with that is like you go, oh, it looks good anyway. Why does it matter? It's like it matters because the if you're doing materials or a render that's a physics simulation, that means that the values going into the physics simulation are going to be like strange, and you might get like weird results through the chain. Like you might end up having completely blown out colors by the end of the project or something like that, or the dynamic range just isn't correct for doing like HDR bloom or something, right? So you always have to kind of make sure that your values are kind of within the range expected. Let's see what this looks like in the game. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this weird water shader is making it look terrible anyway. So I don't think it's ever gonna look great with a white igloo cannon shooting at you on this terrible, terrible, terrible water texture. And brick textures, actually, now that I think about it. So yeah, lighting's gonna be a pain. That will require more research, I think. So I'll probably just have to keep adjusting that as I go through the project. What else should we do? What else should we do? I don't know, I'm just sleepy. Just want to play Counter-Strike now. Because I was working on this for 2 hours before the stream as well. So I could do some level design. That's kind of like a fun thing that... Well, actually, there's one thing I had to figure out for that. With this grid tile map thing, I actually don't know how you... I don't know how you... Hello? I don't know how you actually change the vertical layers. Like, you can place things, but I don't know how you actually like go up and down. Like what? Oh, cube. No? Is it going up and down? Or is it changing its size? No, that's up and down. Oh, that is so weird. It's Q and E? That is so weird. And I think have I adjusted these to be wrong? Okay, we need top view so we can reset this. Oh god. Well, that's good. I figured that out. I thought I'd have to Google that. That looks right. Okay, and then Q. Blob. Blob. Okay, I think I know how to edit levels now. Deleting things is not going to be super fun. There we go. Okay. So note to self, don't place random objects on random layers, because it's hard to delete them. Okay. I wonder what this level should even be like. Actually, one thing that'd be cool is putting that turret on like a pirate ship that just like sails around in circles or something. That can be a fun thing that we try to do. There we go. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. I wonder if I have anything in here that's like, that like would make someone think this is a starting location. I wonder if there's castle things in here. Looks like there's kind of castle things in here. Because like if the cannons will just shoot you when you're in spawn if you don't. How do I have to just shrink it to be half? And why does it? Oh, grid map, you are so confusing. How do I switch the size of you? Oh, floor 5. Wait, so control and rotate apparently does it too. Q and E also do it. But the grid. Oh, I think it's control shift adjusts the grid size. Oh. No. Oh, you can never change the size? Interesting. I'm learning new things every day, apparently. How do I get... What have I done? Oh, I'm like negative a million floors. Oh, good. Now there's just a thing there. And also, like, random one over there. That's cool. So I guess we'll build our fence like so. Oh yes, not on the right layer. As you can see, making this game is not going to be super quick. Also, like, I wonder if I can rotate this 90 degrees or if I just am stuck with it now. Wait, center X. Can I rotate this? Okay, we need some controls here. Tile map, 3D, Godot, how to rotate. Rotate tiles. Create alternative tile. Did it lie to me? Right, tile set. Select the tile you want to flip. That does not help me much. Like, I still don't know how to use it. Oh, grid map. S to rotate. Oh, there it is. Apparently there's the S button. Oh, wait, what? I'm so confused. This seems weird to me, but okay. What the? What? Why is the grid map the other way now? grid map has gone vertical. Maybe I'll just quit Godot and see if that fixes it. And if it doesn't, then I'll just cry, I guess. Strange, strange. Okay, now it's back to being normal. I think. Okay, let's find that fence again. This is cool. It looks like you can rotate. It's unfortunate that there's gonna be like weird gaps. To me, this seems like a strange formatting problem with how they did the tile. Like they placed the poles right in the middle of the tile instead of at one of the sides. Don't know why they made that decision. It might look good for some certain use case. But that use case is not this one. There we go. Here's our starting area. It looks terrible. But it'll do. Also, those have no collision mesh, and see, I'm also worried about the size of the players here. Like, why are my players so big? What is even happening with them? How big are they? How big are Godot units? Like, how big should they be? I think the player in this case is a cylinder roughly, and this cylinder is... he's only 1 meter tall. That's not very tall. That's only 3 feet tall. Why is everything so tiny then? How does game creation work? Because like, can I scale these up? Like my grid map, can I make it bigger? Because like that's just gonna be like, oops, perfect. Because like if it's not gonna rescale the tiles, then all the tiles are like, oh, there we go, there we go. Look at that, victory. Okay, let's try that. Oh, I love the way that I'm stuck in a weird tree. Love that. That to me looks closer to correct, but I actually think it should be even taller. This is a very different game now. There we go. Oh god, no. Well, it's gonna be weird also if I can't jump up something. I guess maybe you shouldn't be able to. Maybe you should have to place a brick. And these are hard decisions, like figuring out how big your game world should be and everything. I think this is still too small though. Like, I think I should make my players normal sized and go from there. Like, because like I was saying about the other thing, it's like everything that is incorrect propagates through the chain. So it's like if your player is on the right side, every physics calculation is like wrong for the weight of the object. Because I put the weight of the character at someone's actual weight. 1.7. We'll just do 1.7. Okay, so our player needs to be... Oh wait, I'm crazy? Am I crazy? Oh yeah, no, I'm crazy. It already was, well this is the right size, so that's good. That means our levels are pretty close. So we'll need to... Cast. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Feet. So the player's cylinder, other capsule, where are they? I guess that's actually this one, isn't it? So capsule basically be on the ground. We want... I'm not actually sure what body is. The player is, what is this node? What type of node is this? How do I know which body? Okay, yeah. You can do it, you can orient by your x-axis. Okay, now the camera and stuff. Seems pretty close. Should be good. Okay. Now hopefully nothing's too screwed up. Let me out. Let me out of this weird hole. There we go. So, depending on what those cannons do, that wall might be enough. I probably need to figure out something different than that, though. I mean, it doesn't look good, so I'll have to make it look good. Also, I got to figure out now how the players are going to spawn exactly. The level appears to be now floating off the ground, which is interesting, I guess. Where's the translation of this? Bloop. The bricks are 1 by 1. I have them set to right now. So since this is half sunk in the ground, I think they'll be pretty close to like even with the land. I think. There we go. What if we can just run across this? No, you can't. Character control's not that forgiving. It does look like there's some kind of like screen space ambient occlusion or something going on there. That could just be my monitor, I guess, but it looks like there's some kind of lighting going on. Or fancy lighting anyway. I'm shielded. Okay, let's make this guy go around like a circle or something like that. And then we'll see what if that works. Like, that might work. Good. Got people wishing me luck. Thank you, sir. I appreciate all wishes of luck. Dude, I've been making stuff for a long time, so I usually get projects finished, but I also very aware of how long large projects take to make, and that's why like this is much more of a toy project than a serious project. You'll see people like, oh, I quit my day job to make an indie video game. That's not what I'm doing here, because that's basically insanity. Because like if you're gonna do like a real effort to try and get a game like the top whatever, it's like you're looking at like years of sustained effort like every day to get a game like that polished. And I've almost no interest in ever doing that much effort on a single project, because it's just like you're putting all your eggs in one basket and it's like crazy to me. It also is like not fun to polish it. Like, this is the fun part of making a game. It's like, you know, when you're rapidly prototyping and like just kind of doing some fun stuff and experimenting with like gameplay ideas and stuff like that. But then when you're just like polishing the same game for like a year and a half to try and like get rid of every single bug and everything, it's like, that's like almost an entirely different thing. Like, your job is just like 3 months of fun stuff, then a bunch of management, and then a year and a half of like QA or something like that. Like, that's what making an indie game, I assume, is like. That's what most projects that aren't indie games are like, so I don't know why that would be much different. It would be a definite grind of sorts, I would imagine. But yeah, Godot's cool. I think the next project I'll do in Bevy, like the Rust one, it's a different style that more fits kind of my style of programming, I guess. I do like ECS engines, and the paradigm is pretty cool and fun to mess around with. You learn some cool stuff about data-driven design when you do entity component systems. There are entity component systems for Godot as well. I don't know what they are because I never use them, but there are like plugins you can do to do an ECS type game in Godot. And ECS games are like, you have entities which are like groups of data. The components are data, and you just like tag your entities with these components. So it's like, you'll have something like move forward as like a component, and then you slap that on the entity of car, and then you have a system that goes through every single object or every single component, looks for move forward, and then runs logic on that. And you do that for like everything in the game. So it's a totally different style of game creation, but it's quite interesting. But it tends to make, you'll see a lot of people make the same kind of games with them. They make games where there's like thousands of enemies doing kind of the same thing, like zombie games, like where zombies chasing you. ECS engines are very good at doing that sort of thing very efficiently, like computation-wise, but they're also very easy to program on ECS engines compared to other games. So like that style of game tends to be very popular on ECS engines, because that's kind of like when they make their little toy games, that's the easiest one to kind of do, to demonstrate. So yeah, ECS is cool. Unity tried it with dots. I don't know how the uptake was by devs on that. I don't think Unity devs are the correct audience to, or Godot devs really for that matter. Like, people that are general normal game devs don't probably have much interest in it, because like the type, like this stuff's fairly optimized for what typical game devs are doing if they're doing like a linear single player game. And ECS is like probably harder to use for a lot of the normal games. It's easier to use for certain types of games, but it's gonna be harder for like the general, like straightforward linear story driven narrative game. Or I would assume it would be anyway. I guess I'll find out when I start using it after this project, and then we'll all know. So this cannon thing, I need to make this thing just like rotate to the. How do you get the middle of... How do you get the middle of the world? I guess something I could just do to test is just be like... how do you even get self in Godot? Like, how do I get... Is self a thing? I think I do vector 3, right? And then I go like... Should do it, I think. I have no idea how fast this will move. Is that correct? I don't know. I don't know if this will just make it move to the right or what this will do exactly. Where is it? Is it moving? Are you moving? What are you doing? Oh yeah, you are moving. Not very fast though. So move 10 times faster. Where are you? I hate these walls now. Okay, yeah, it's scooting away. Doesn't seem to interfere with any of the logic. So our pirate ship should be pretty easy to implement. I do need sound effects as well for these the things shooting the cannonballs. And when the cannons impact things. Or the cannonballs do anyway. So much work in video games just goes to the actual like, content of just like almost like polished content where it's just like, okay, I need like a cannonball sound, I need the cannonball sound impact, which actually involves some like logic to it, all that stuff, and then of course you have to replicate it over the network when you're making multiplayer games. That's another reason why I don't want to keep this game very complicated, is because it is a multiplayer game, and multiplayer stuff has basically grows exponentially in complexity versus single player games. For like almost any indie game, single player is like pretty smart. Just because the game, any game's value is 0 if it's not released. And your odds of releasing a non-multiplayer game are so much higher. And they're so much easier to work on. Because it's like what you see is what you get. And with multiplayer games like this, it's like I'll join it with the second client. And then I have to figure out, like, a problem you never have multiplayer already. Like, actually, number one, that I haven't. Or did I? I guess it is synced the position of. I didn't even realize I synchronized that, but that's how amazing I am. I'm making progress without even knowing it. You'll notice it doesn't fire cannons on the second players. Couldn't tell you why. So I had to figure out why it's not shooting those cannonballs. There's also a glitch that I am not really even looking at right now, where like if you have 3 players, oh cool, nice, cool glitch. I think that was probably because a cannonball maybe went off the map. I'm not sure. But it could easily be my crappy box logic for how boxes are added and removed. Because it has to join. You have to download all the boxes for the state, right? And then you have to synchronize them somehow. And I've done it a really dumb way that barely works. And I have to refactor it to be not a dumb way, to be a smart way that works well, I guess. Which I'm not looking forward to, because like, especially when you're working on a project for free, doing work that is invisible to the end player, that just involves me taking like 4 hours of my time, is like the most boring, tedious work of all time. Like, you have to do it to make the game actually work, but then no one knows what you did, and there's no like tangible result from it except your game just doesn't crash, which is, I guess, is kind of nice. Oh, it's nice to have a game that doesn't crash. Anyways, I'm probably just gonna go play Counter-Strike because it's Saturday night. And Saturday night is a great time to play Counter-Strike while drinking wine. So there you go. It's wine and Counter-Strike night. Being very fancy. Thanks for tuning in. I usually do this like every night when I'm free, like whenever I have time. I moved to a new town, so that's typically quite a lot. So I don't really know too many people here. So I just work on this game at night. And if you're interested in how games are made, like Godot games or whatnot, just ask questions or whatever. Like, if you have any ideas to how to make the game actually like more fun and stuff, let me know. I'm not the biggest gamer. I've played Counter-Strike for like 25 years and basically only play Counter-Strike, so coming up with video game ideas is not my forte. Well, that's not true. I do play other games, like I've played some StarCraft and stuff, but over the years. But I'm not hip to like every different type of game that's out there now, and I don't play them all the time like I did when I was a kid. So you might know fun things I can add to this that are in style and vogue, and we can make it an awesome game. I'll probably just release it for free or something, unless it just gets uber polished, which I don't see happening, because like I don't really want to do a crazy amount of polish on it, just because that would take forever, and I want to like move to the Bevy game engine and do some other projects as well. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Or see you on Counter-Strike tonight if you are any of my friends that play Counter-Strike, because sometimes they pop on the stream. So, cool.